Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to this fight breakdown for KSI versus Faze Temper, and we have got some concerns. Thankfully, Faze wasn't able to capitalize on those, but we've got to be honest. If you are a KSI fan, this was not perfect, and we're going to talk about why. So let's just talk about the story of the fight first of all, and it was very much about distance. So Faze Temper wanted to make sure that he could keep KSI back, because if KSI was going to explode in, he wanted to be able to have time to react. KSI has got better hand speed, he's got better power, he's got better boxing ability, he is the better fighter. But this is the strategy really. Try and keep KSI at bay. If he does start to come in, use the jab, try and give him something to think about, try and frustrate him, try and keep him on the outside, because his power is going to do very little back there. His hand speed is going to do very little back there. Keep him at bay, try and use the jab, see where we can get with that. Let's have a look, shall we, at KSI trying to close that distance down. Now, this is where I think Faze definitely makes a few mistakes. So here's an example. KSI explodes forwards, and what Faze should do in this moment is either use his footwork to try and get away or cover up, right, and defend it. He goes for the option of covering up. So here we see KSI exploding and he goes to the body, right? Fine, nice. Then he follows immediately in with a nice left hook. That comes in and seems to get through and do a little bit of damage, right? Fine, nice. You can see the right side of KSI quite exposed in this moment. Not the biggest concern. As we said, you will get hit in a boxing match, but this is the bigger concern. His next shot after this is an uppercut. Nice shot selection. Don't have a problem with it. It's a bit of a specialist shot. It's good that it's in his arsenal. The problem is he misses with it. So he goes for a big uppercut, and look at the situation that he gets himself in. So I think the work up until this point was nice. It was aggressive, but he found himself in a situation where one shot landed, second shot landed. What do I go for now? He goes so big with it. He's so wild that his end result is his arm is actually wrapped around his head. And you can see that his hand is like all the way over here. By the time he brings this arm back and actually has got it in a position where he can throw it again, that is going to take quite a bit of time. Of course, it's not going to be his next shot. His next shot is going to be with the left hand. So the left hand is ready to give Faze Temper something to think about. JJ has just missed with a big uppercut. He's in a position that's quite vulnerable and against someone with good power, good hand speed, boxing ability, boxing experience. JJ could find himself in a bit of trouble here. That is not a great position to find yourself in during a boxing match. As we move forward then, we've got this, and this is probably an even worse example of JJ coming in and leaving openings. As he is closing that distance, he is leaving big opportunities for his opponent. This, I've watched this quite a few times. I can't quite figure out what he's trying to do here. He comes forward with a big right hand, KSI. So that's absolutely fine, right? He's trying to close that distance, as we said. Comes forward with a big right hand. Now you expect that left hand to come into play. For some reason, it doesn't. And this is where we end up. Like, I don't know how we've got here, right? So he's thrown this. I don't know if he's just overcommitted and gone a bit too wild once again with the rights. And now he finds himself square on. You can see that his right arm is completely over to the side of his body. We just saw an example of that with the big wild uppercut. He seemed to be swinging for the fences. It seemed to be a case that he was looking for this first round knockout, maybe a bit too much. So, you know, the uppercut that we saw was big and he committed to it in a very big way. Here we've got this shot to close the distance. Once he actually closes the distance, he's committed to that right hand so much. Look at the position that he finds himself in. There could be a straight left that goes right into KSI's head. There could be a big right hook that comes in and goes right for his chin. Like, he is not in a great place here. As we move forward then, we've got another example to look at. And you've got to remember, this fight was not that long. It's every time that KSI is trying to close that distance, he's kind of putting himself into some bad situations. Here we can see KSI coming in. So he's closing the distance. He's using his forearm as a bit of a shield. He's using his forearm as a bit of a barrier. And he's charging in so that he can unleash that left hand. Now, the left hand is the power hand. He's going for like a big shot. And if it connects, it could be lights out to Faze Temper. So I can understand why he's going for it. The problem is the counter left is coming in from Faze Temper. So this arm has got to do some work of preventing this shot from coming in, because his plan is to block, connect. You can see that the shot gets over, right? I do think that the arm does take a bit of sting away from it, but again, a better boxer, an even better boxer than Faze Temper, will be able to get that properly connected. And you can see on the chin, just under the chin and chest, it does get through. Now, he has landed that before KSI has landed his shot. And so if that had a bit more dynamite in it, if that had a little more accuracy to it, that could have been a big, big problem to KSI. Again, you have to say, in a boxing match, you're gonna get hit, right? It's gonna happen. So some of this you do have to take with a little bit of a pinch of salt. But you can see some of the positions that he's getting himself into aren't ideal. You can see how wild some of the shots are as he's maybe being a bit overly aggressive. That's not ideal. And against a better standard of opponent, he could be punished for it. So here we go. We've got the finish. So don't forget, what we saw from Faze was covering up. Yeah, Faze covered up when KSI exploded in our first example, the one where he missed with the uppercut. So now we've got KSI about to explode in again. Now, for some reason, we don't get out of the way here. So Faze is a little bit flat-footed. He should be on his toes a bit more. He should be moving a bit more. He shouldn't be getting stuck in this sort of position. So KSI is coming and exploding in, right? Now, you could potentially use that lead hand as a jab. I mean, look how low KSI's arms are in this example. This is as he is building up for the finish. So a jab to give KSI something to think about might have stopped this whole attack, right? He doesn't. Covering up, really trying to weather the storm. That might have also helped a lot more than what Faze actually does, which is pretty much nothing, to be honest. So he doesn't get out of there. He doesn't throw anything for KSI to think about. He doesn't cover up. At this point, the guy is just basically a punching bag. So what we get is we get the shot come through. It's straight down the middle. There's very little resistance from Faze. And you can see that that causes big problems. The alarms inside Faze Temper's head are sounding at this point. He gets hit with this big right hand straight down the middle, simple as you like. You can see how rocked he is. And he's not looking at KSI. He's not looking at JJ. The right arm is really low. There's a massive window there for KSI to exploit. And he does a great job in a split second of doing exactly that. So the follow-up shot is lovely. It lands perfectly where you would want it to go. Clips the sweet spot right on the chin, and it is good night. That is it. I mean, he goes down, and that is the end of the fight. What I would say is I really don't think someone like Jake Paul is going to make it that easy for you. Yes, KSI is fast, he is explosive, he is powerful. We're not taking that away from KSI, but Faze shouldn't have been there. He should have been moving a lot more. You know, if someone's exploding towards you, you get out of there. Use your head movement. Don't stay on the center line. Don't be hittable, right? If you haven't got the ability to do that, then your defense needs to be a lot better. So, you know, he covered up when we saw KSI coming at him in the first example. But in this example, the arms are quite wide apart. There's no preventing what KSI is throwing. The guard is just not effective at all. KSI straight down the middle, stuns Faze Temper, and the second shot puts him away. So there's lots to take away, even though this is a very short fight. And it's only like 2 minutes, 10 seconds, something along those lines. There's definitely some great stuff here from KSI, but there's also some concerns as well. It is hard to be critical of a first round knockout, but I think we all just want the best for KSI. We want this journey to continue. We want that fight against Jake Paul. He's gonna have to face some tougher opponents before we get to that Jake Paul fight. But a few things to work on, a few things to be concerned about, but rightfully, the headline reads, KSI first round knockout. Can't do much better than that. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and I will see you again next time. Bye for now.